Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, back with another figure review. This time, I'm getting back to basics with what I started reviewing, the Marvel Select line. And I'm doing Ultimate Thor, one of the harder to get Marvel Selects. Now, you'll notice that both my hands are in frame. I've always had a lot of complaints about the quality of my videos. Well, I still haven't found a tripod. This is Marvel Select Big Bad Toys exclusive Red Hulk holding the camera. Which, as big as he is, I should have thought of a long time ago, but I didn't. Okay, now on to the review. Oh, by the way, I will like to hear your feedback compared to Hulk holding the camera as to me holding the camera. I definitely want to know if this is better. Okay, this is obviously the ultimate version of Thor. Okay, he doesn't look a lot like the original Marvel Comics version, but then again, the Marvel Comics version didn't really look like Thor's described in Norse mythology either. Okay, basically all they kept was the circles on his chest and his yellow hair. Okay, they even changed the look of his hammer Mjolnir, and they gave it a axe on one side and a blunt side, which obviously looks more like a traditional hammer. Down there where the emblem is, you'll see a hammer surrounded by lightning. And he came with quite a large giant man base, as you can see in the back there. I do know the base is wall mountable, but I don't see why Thor would be pulling a Spider-Man thing. There's the side art. Okay, there he is on the base. There's Cap and Iron Man. And there's the cover of Ultimates 4. Okay, basically in Ultimates, there was Nick Fury asked Thor to join, and he basically said, you know, I'm not going to be any nation's puppet. And he did show up at the end to fight the Hulk. Basically, you know, he just said, if the world's truly in danger, then I'll show up. Other than that, screw off. He was much more of a hippie in the comics. He was a protester. You know, he thought that the United States was very war-hungry, so on and so forth. He only helped in the end to fight the Hulk because the president doubled the, he doubled some budget. I can't remember exactly which one it was. Okay, but then they brought up this whole story. Is he really Thor, or is he this nurse who basically went crazy and stole the hammer and the harness, which basically allow him to fly and control weather? Okay, well, either way, I don't want to ruin the story. This looks like a fantastic figure. I do have the other Thor, which I was not crazy about. I'm hoping this one's better. So, without further ado, let's pull him out of the pack. Okay, and here's Ultimate Thor out of the box. I've got to say, he's actually really impressive. The hammer is actually really nice. It's not very light, but it's not very heavy. I have him holding it with both hands, as you can see here. Now, both his fists are clenched, which means, you know, it's kind of hard to pull the hammer in and out. The strap is what makes that most difficult, as you can see there. But at the same time, it's what keeps it from sliding out. Okay, I'm going to pull it out of his hand real quick. Okay, if you want to pose it up, it's really hard to get it to stay with the big hammer side up. It usually rotates and wants to be accent out, for the simple fact that the hammer side is very heavy. Okay, the articulation is nice. The arms rotate 360 degrees, quadriceps rotate, elbow joint, and wrist joint. Same for both arms. Okay. There's a lot of blue on his arms to show veins bulging out. I'm not really sure how I feel about that because it looks kind of fake. The head sculpt on this guy, however, is fantastic. He has the scowl, he looks like he's under stress, which is one of the reasons I like the veins. Okay. He has a torso joint. This leg goes up and down easily enough, but this one does only bends at the knee. He also has an ankle joint. I don't know why this one's giving me so much trouble. Okay. I want to get a quick shot of the base. It's huge. I mean, I actually thought about putting it on the wall just for looks, but Thor does need something to stand on. Okay, a couple of things about the base. There's no foot peg for Thor at all. You're just supposed to take Thor and sit him on top of Giant Man's body. Now, that does work fairly easy, better than I thought it would, but still, if somebody comes by and knocks whatever you have him sitting on over, the figure will fall. Also, there's no plastic over Giant Man's eye, which I thought he had some sort of goggle on in the book. Okay, but obviously there's rubble around it. There's the hole for the wall mount. It's a fantastic base. Foot pegs would have helped, but I'm still very impressed. Okay. Now, as far as the hammer goes, this is as far up as he can grasp the hammer. This large yellow part keeps the hammer from going any farther down in his hand. In the book, he actually holds the hammer by this quite a bit, which is disappointing but not horrible, since he still does hold the hammer very well. The arm articulation for this figure is actually really, really impressive, because Marvel Select's joints are usually stiff when you pull them out of the pack. Okay, his hair is a softer plastic, letting you move his head around. And there's his back, as you can see. Okay, this figure overall is fantastic. I much prefer him over the other version of Thor, which was the current version. A lot of people didn't like the fact that I only gave that figure a 6.5, but I really just didn't see what people were crazy about. I can't even get the modern Thor's arm to go down so I can pose him differently. But overall, this figure is fantastic, but the biggest problem is he's really, really rare. Right now, Marvel's doing reissues, but they haven't made any mention to reissue this guy. I had to pay $60 with shipping to get this figure, and that's about average price for him. Sometimes you get him a little cheaper, sometimes he costs a little bit more. It all just depends. But really, if you're a Thor fan, he's definitely worth it. I mean, you gotta think, $60 is really only 3 Marvel Selects. So if you save your cash, you'll have him before you know it. Okay, one other thing is his hammer did come a little bent, as you can see there right at the handle, but it's nothing a little pressure won't fix. But this guy comes highly recommended by me. I'm gonna go as far as to give him a 9 out of 10. And I'll see you soon, YouTube.